Great practitioners lose clients to mediocre ones with better marketing every day. Strategy Cafe exists to fix that. Welcome to episode 15. I'm Timothy, here with Chris, co-founders of the Pykthos Mastermind, a coaching and community program that includes the software and done-for-you assets you need to actually run your business. But these calls aren't a pitch. We run Strategy Cafe to deliver value first. And if you want to learn more about the mastermind after the session, head to pykthos.com. That's pykthos.com. Every other Friday, we break down what serious business builders actually do: build pipelines, automate follow-up, and make revenue predictable. This is episode 15. If you're on replay, find us live at pykthos.com/cafe, and we send out summary notes after every session so you won't miss a thing. Let's go, Chris.
Awesome. Yeah, we send it the summary notes, which are one of my favorite things that we do that I don't think a lot of other people do. So while you can catch it on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, getting the notes is freaking awesome because then you know what parts you want to jump to on the recording. Yeah, we've got a bunch of people here. Thank you guys all for showing up. And of course, those of you who
Yeah.
have your camera on, amazing to see you. If your camera's off, we'd love to see your face. And go ahead and use that digital hand raise feature in Zoom if you have questions. Alternatively, make sure you're using the chat so we know what kinds of things you guys want to talk about. There's always a few of our Pykthos Mastermind members here as well, which is cool. So sometimes they ask great questions and
Mhm.
sometimes they just observe. But we're here for you guys. We really just want to make sure we're helping you guys wherever you're stuck. Now, I know we had some conversations with our own mastermind members and just with general people, noticing a lot of people are stuck in things like they have an offer that they just haven't validated yet. So if you haven't actually sold what you want to sell to a real human, you need to go and do that first. That's always an important thing. We ran a
Yep.
diagnostic constraint analysis with our members, and oh my goodness, we had a really awesome result. One of our members was like realized he had moved and needed to find a new physical space to go and present. And he went out and did that. And all of a sudden, business turned around immediately. And he just,
Yep.
for whatever reason, hadn't thought, oh, that's the obvious constraint in my business. And the constraint analysis revealed it. So there's that. But other times it could just be like, I'm getting people reaching out to me, but I don't have an effective sales process. So whatever you guys are stuck
Mm.
with, ask here and we'll help you out to the best of our degree. To the
Yeah,
best of our degree, best of our ability.
best of our degree.
Thinking about the heat wave.
Yeah.
It's 30 degree now.
Ooh. So Chris, I do actually want to I want to just mention something that you already brought up, which is the idea of like pre-validation. And
Hmm.
we've seen this over and over again where people have in their head like, all right, I'm going to plan this massive thing. I need all these pages. I need this, 16 funnels. I need, all this stuff. And then we ask them the question, well, how many clients have you actually sold to with that? Oh, none. So what, why?
Yeah.
There's no reason for that. So when we talk about this idea of pre-validation, we're not telling you to not build the thing. What we're
Hmm.
telling you is to ask questions in a critical way. That way you're not overbuilding and then realizing still why nobody's showing up. So,
Yeah.
Don, for example, he's the one with the physical address and didn't have a physical location problem. He was like, oh, should I update the copy on my homepage? Should I do this? Should I do that? And then like, well, what's the missing link here? Oh, I moved and now I need to be able to redo the thing. That had nothing to do with his website, nothing to do with his copy. It really just had to do with I reach out to people locally and find another space. And now what he said that he's opening for some big act, and then he just got his second thing or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
I got two like recurring
yeah,
gigs,
like super cool
which will
stuff.
be a great lead generation tool. So that's
Yep.
fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Just as far as I don't see any, you guys are all shy, I guess, with the digital hand raise, but I'm seeing chat requests come in. So
Mm.
we can look at those. And then we do, of course, as usual, we have some back pocket topics we can talk about while, as I described to Timothy, when people are shy, it's like, the boys on one side of the gym in the high school and the girls on the other, and nobody's willing to dance yet. So who's going to ask us to dance? I guess
Yeah.
that's the question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, well,
Jonathan, let me just
there
look
we go.
at. Oh, we got Craig and we got Cynthia with the
Cynthia.
hands up. And okay, we'll go
Awesome.
straight to you guys then because you were brave enough to raise your hand. So let's start with Craig.
All right, Craig, what kind of dancing are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just figuring out how to do my Google ads.
Okay.
And just it was interesting. I dropped my ads for a month just to see how many
Oh
clients
yeah.
I was getting with just SEO,
Yeah.
it dropped off considerably.
Oh
But then I
wow.
was also doing the performance max thing, and I
Mhm.
felt that was being overcharged. So I redid it and just did it with just Google search. So I was just, what is your take on the performance max and all these different ways that you can advertise with Google?
Timothy, do you want to jump in on any of that? I am not feeling like I'm an expert in pressing all the buttons in the Google Ads platform these days, although we're testing more Facebook stuff right now, personally. And Google, I think that's the next step for many of the things we're doing, which we have not personally jumped in to Google in a deep way. My ad agency at Mike Mandel Hypnosis handles that stuff, and I don't press those buttons, but we're learning more about it. Do you have any thoughts, Timothy?
Yeah, I wish that I was the expert here, Craig. Unfortunately, I'm not, only
Hmm.
because when it comes to Google and Facebook, and this is something that even like Jonathan is asking about in the chat, and one of our mastermind members, Josh, who's here with us too, was also struggling with this, is that when an account gets flagged or when an account gets suspended for any reason, you don't really get the reason why. And so, in our field of coaching, hypnosis, and whatnot, we have to be careful on how exactly we're advertising because sometimes it will either, like, I don't want to say the word shadow ban, but they can restrict where your ads are going based on whether it's alternative medicine or whether you're considered a health or
Hmm.
medical without actually being part of that because of the copy and the pictures and everything you're using. Now, when it does come to Google Ads, and like you said, you have noticed that as soon as you turn them off, they're dropping, that's to be expected. And the reason why is probably not what you're thinking. The reason why is because Google is almost no longer a search engine, and now they have moved everything to the top under their AI. So really, that's what you're trying to outrank. And if you're looking just for SEO to try to beat out Google's AI at the very top, you're going to lose. The search results, though, still put sponsored stuff up near the top. So that's
Yeah, for
probably
sure.
why you notice that.
Yeah. Now, as far as I think, Timothy, I'm glad you mentioned it. It doesn't really apply to Craig, obviously, I would imagine, because his ads were doing fine. He just feels he's probably being overcharged and wants to optimize them, as opposed to somebody, let's say, clearly advertising hypnosis to cure some medical thing. You're likely to get yourself in trouble. Anyway, maybe though, you know what, Timothy, the idea of power content, I messaged you here. This could be useful because Craig, if you're using Google, and I apologize because we're not deep experts on the Google ad platform and exactly how to optimize, PMAX and all that stuff. But would you be open to hearing about how Facebook might be useful for you? And you could use a strategy, actually, a lot of you could use a strategy that we're starting to use that we learned from a friend of ours that I think is a good adjunct to like direct cold traffic. Hey, I'm looking for hypnosis for golf or whatever the purpose is that you're advertising. Because Google's great for they're searching on something very specific, right? You're putting an ad in front of people who are looking directly for what you're offering, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The cool thing is though, and are we talking? I know a little bit about you just because we've talked before, but is this mostly for like hypnosis for golf?
Well, I started off with just a mental performance coach for sports, but then I'm wondering like, do I have one for that, and then do I have one for the yips and one for golf, and then how to balance it all out? And last time I joined you guys, I think someone, is it Laurel? Is
Yeah,
she the one who?
yeah,
Yeah, so I joined her thing for $7
yeah,
a
yeah.
month or whatever. So I tried that, but I didn't like the idea of not leading to my website because I spent all this time building my website. And do I
Hmm.
just want to DM people? I mean, I kind of like people going through my website because when I get my discovery call, people
Hmm.
buy. I mean,
Yeah, I think.
they've already been prepped. I know you like the friction thing. You don't want as much friction, but I think a little bit of friction when you finally do talk to them, they're ready.
Oh, absolutely. You want to guide
Mhm.
people to go from any kind of conversation. So that could be them opting into a lead magnet and responding to a follow-up email, or it could be a DM. I know like the way Laurel Porche teaches her ad ecosystem, she uses DM and likes DM, but there are many, like you can do it any number of ways. The key principle to focus though, and I can show you guys what we're doing if you want, is make sure that you get something helpful in front of your ideal client. So the concept of a dog whistle is something that you blow that only the dog hears because of the frequency response of their ears versus humans or whatever, right? So a metaphorical dog whistle is you open your video with a problem that only your ideal client has. Everyone else is not going to care about it. It's not going to stick around and watch your video, right? That's what I mean by dog whistle. And then what you do is you go on to help the person solve that problem in a 3 to 5 minute long video. That video then can offer optionally what she calls a value bomb. We might all call that a lead magnet, except you don't have to ask for the email address to get the opt-in. You can if you want. She doesn't teach it that way, but again, principles not rules here, right? You can say, "Hey, I've got this thing for you. Would you like me to send it to you?" And you can make it an opt-in page if you want to go that way. Otherwise, you can just DM them like literally the link to download it for free, and they've got some sort of encapsulation of what you said in your 3 to 5 minute video now in some tangible format that's just like a checklist or whatever. And you can put a call to action right there on that will lead them to your booking call funnel or to your website. And you can follow up with them, right? So if you have their email, you can be following up and encouraging them to click through to your booking funnel. We'll read your website. If you're DMing them, you can be following up with them. Like imagine 30 minutes a day or something, no more, probably no more, to just check in with people who are potentially prospects who are interested because they asked you for a resource. Hey, how you doing with the thing, right? Do you want to chat? If so, like go book a call with me. There's ways to do this. Um,
Yeah.
do you want me to show real like a quick, does that make sense, Timothy? Do you think I should just show a quick
Yeah. Well,
example?
I do think that the main principle here, and it gets back to Craig's point, is the idea of having more conversations, right?
Hmm.
Because you said when they're on the discovery call, they're ready. And
Yeah.
that's amazing. How many, so just from a numbers perspective, of when you were running ads, of the amount of people landing on the page, how many of them were actually booking the discovery call? Do you have those numbers?
I don't have the exact numbers. I do it through Squarespace and they show me how many people have been to my page. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's interesting because you always ask them like, how did you find me? And a lot of them are like through ChatGPT. Like that's my
Oh, that's
number
great.
one.
Yeah.
That's my number one is they found me on that. So I don't even know how that works.
Yeah.
Haha, we can, okay. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
very interesting.
So that's great, right? I'm assuming probably Squarespace automatically integrates AEO or Answer Engine Optimization or GEO, along with all the SEO stuff that you've been building organically as well. That's probably helped a lot. The reason why that I asked about the numbers is because going back to what Chris was saying in the principles, having more conversations still means that people are going to show up on the discovery call. They're also going to be showing up to the discovery call, though, not just ready, but you're going to have more people ready and probably the more conversations you have, they're going to become pre-sold without you having to wait for ChatGPT or whatnot. You're now becoming the person that's helping to get them into your discovery call process. So if you put up power content like Laurel teaches and you have what's called a value bomb and you send it, you can still keep the conversation going and say, "Hey, it sounds like this is helpful. Do you want to talk? Here's
Hmm.
my booking link. I would love to have a conversation with you about this deeper." Now, instead of you relying on a third party outside source to get people, you're becoming the conduit that's helping with that. And this is where I would start recording your metrics. We're a huge advocate for record your metrics. How many people land
Yeah.
on your page? How many people actually book? Because I guarantee that if you have more conversations, it could probably double the amount of people booking your discovery calls. And that just means more money in your pocket. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's why I'm here and just trying to figure out the process and then try to balance because I've done Facebook ads before and I do it like on Canva and I make these little ads and it's
Yep.
time consuming. And the nice thing about Google Ads is once you set up the ad, it's just and you can forget about it. So it's a time saver for me.
Yeah. I think you should stick with Google Ads if they're proven to give you a return on investment. And I would supplement them with the stuff that Laurel's teaching. And what I will do is just I'll do a really quick example to show you because we're just starting to take control over this ourselves. Let me just grab my browser here. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. All right. So this is a piece of content that we just posted. And if I click the sidebar, you can see in Facebook, if you were in the timeline, this would just be like you'd see the first three sentences or something, and then you'd see the video underneath it. I'm just opening this directly as the URL as a reel. That's why you guys are seeing it this way. But anyway, people would see this video and this text post in their timeline. Okay. And so it's the standard structure. There's a video that solves a problem, and this video is a few minutes long. Let's see, it's about 5 minutes long. And in this particular case, it's about thinking there are such a thing as bad hypnotic subjects. And the text is all kind of a summary of what's in the video. And the video has baked in a request for a value bomb, which is, yeah, so it's like somewhere on here. We're telling people to comment signs. We're going to send them a cheat sheet for external trans indicators. And the same thing is replicated here. And then you can see that's starting to happen, right? So this is good. Now, I recognize some of these names. They're already customers. Some of them are not. And so this could absolutely be a way that we will now guess who's going to be responding to these saying, that's me. I'll be DMing these people and sending them, starting a conversation, not sending the value bomb immediately. Never the first thing is like, oh, here's the thing you asked for. Now I'm going to open a conversation with them. Hey, where are you at in hypnosis? I'm going to send you the thing in a second. Just curious, X, ask them a question, and then I'm going to follow up with them, right? So ultimately, that's the way we can get people into our academy with a very simple ad. This is an organic post. This will get pulled into an ad campaign in a few days once we've established social proof, which is now starting to happen. Then we put that into an ad set in Facebook. Now, the thing that we're sending them, which is really straightforward, let me just grab it from the post that I made in our community. Claude made this for me in 5 minutes. Now, how was it able to do that? It has all our transcripts. It has the video script of the video I just showed you guys. It has an understanding of the full system because I trained it on it. So I've read this over, made some minor edits, and it's basically ready to go live. So that was done in 5 minutes. It has my brand kit. Pretty freaking awesome. So there's a simple process that you can follow so you can create video scripts, just like the one I showed you the video. The video script is about a 5 minute long video. You record it, you publish it, you solve somebody's problem, and you can do lots of these. And then eventually you just throw like $5 a day behind each of these types of videos. You use those to start conversations with people, but you don't stop there. You continue to retarget them with different types of posts that you just boost. So the idea is like, say, Monday morning, you just go and check what are you doing on Facebook. You decide which posts you want to boost for that week that you've already created because you can recycle them over and over again. And now you've got a great way to warm up and retarget cold traffic that doesn't necessarily know you, but they're going to get to know you because your videos are all dog whistles around golf or mindset or whatever each of you guys are all doing, right? Meanwhile, you can still have your Performance Max campaign on Google Ads for the cold traffic. And some of those people will be warm traffic because they just saw you on Facebook. Maybe they clicked through, maybe they saw your thing, and now they're seeing you advertised on Google and you seem like you're everywhere. So that I think is a key principle you want to keep in mind. I'll stop the screen share. I hope that's useful.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. And just one more interesting thing too. I try to hire somebody for my Google ads or whatever. And I had a 20-minute conversation, their discovery call. And the guy tried to convince me not to do Google ads and go all Facebook.
Oh
So
wow,
I mean,
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go extreme and say like you have to stop doing like it's working for you. Why would anyone tell you not to do that? That's absurd.
yeah. All right. Thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome. That was awesome. Thank you,
Yeah, but
Craig.
get your numbers like for sure. Timothy's bang on and saying you need to know weekly, like, okay, how many people visited that page that offers this call, how many booked the call, how many showed up for the call, how many bought. That's your funnel. Document those numbers, and that will start to make it really obvious to you where the potential issue is.
That's
And
awesome.
of course, if you implement the thing we just showed you, you'll also be documenting how many conversations did you have before they even considered the call. That whole funnel, I think that's gonna crack it for you. All right, now I
Cool.
thought we had a hand up from Rebecca, but it's down now.
Yeah.
So I got
No.
Soleil and then Mikhail.
Yeah, it was Cynthia who had her
Oh,
hand
it
up,
was
but I
Cynthia.
don't.
Sorry, it
Yeah,
wasn't
but
Rebecca.
I
My
don't see
mistake.
her now.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna go to Soleil. Hello.
Yes.
You gotta unmute.
There we go.
Hi. Like a million questions, but um I think I'm going to focus on one that happened to me last night. So last night
Okay.
I've been soft launching, I guess,
Mhm.
my product, and I did a live last night, like a 90-minute webinar. Thankfully, only friends showed up because I had nothing but technical difficulties. Nothing but
Oh.
in the presentation side. So I used Google Slide or Zoom slides. And we had problems where one person had to leave and come back because they were only seeing like a white slide. And then two people were on their phone and the slide wasn't advancing for them. Like it was just,
Hmm.
excuse my language, a shit show. And it was terrible. Like it was, I guess it was good for my first experience because
Yeah.
that's, you know, a lot of things to work through. And it's great. I've recovered. I just presented without slides and just kept trying because what ended up happening was I closed the Google Slides to reopen it again. And
Hmm.
then it just sat thinking and thinking, right? And it wouldn't reopen. And then I went,
Okay.
okay, I'll try doing this through my PowerPoint. And then my PowerPoint showing my whole designer section. And it was a mess, right?
Oh.
Okay,
Later on,
let's
Zoom ended
accelerate
up
this though.
working.
Let's get to
Yeah.
the question part. So you had a
So the
tech mess
question,
and
it was mess. What
yeah.
what do you use for
Oh,
Oh.
presenting? What is something that won't give me these technical difficulties?
Yeah. So we use Canva, but one of the things that I would suggest you do, if you don't need presenter notes on there and you're okay with just the slide, just make it a PDF. Make sure that it's like 16 by 9 and that it looks good. And then like a PDF works just great.
yeah.
And
You
should
don't
I do that from my Zoom or should I
Yeah.
have it in
Yeah.
Google Docs or something?
Yeah, no,
Should I
I would
trust Zoom?
I would get it off of whatever cloud environment and I would put it locally on your machine so you no longer get the wheel of death, you know?
Okay,
Yeah.
so not in the Zoom itself then.
Well, yeah,
In the Zoom
you
help.
can share like you can share your screen and share Zoom, but I would make sure that you have the PDF on the computer and then you open it and then share the opened PDF using Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom has like I guess its own section where you can keep your files like inside Zoom and share directly from, and that's what I was using. So okay.
I
That's
didn't even know Zoom had that. I've never used it. And
Yeah,
yeah, like I hit screen share and I select the application window that I want to share. So
yeah,
in the case of a PDF, I'm on a Mac, so the app that the Mac uses is called Preview. On a window, what's it called on Windows? I guess just PDF, Adobe Acrobat
probably
Reader or
PDF
something.
viewer or something. Yeah,
Yeah, whatever it is and you just literally like double click on your file on your computer. It opens up and you say Zoom screen share that window, and then you just control your slides by yourself. And that
yeah.
screen sharing seems to be flawless. That's what I just did to show you guys the Facebook and the PDF that I made. I was just sharing my browser within Zoom here. When we do longer webinars, we've traditionally used Canva, where we just pull up the slides in Canva and Timothy just controls them from
yeah.
there because he's
Okay.
better at it than I am. But if you don't need the speaker notes, then I totally agree with him. PDF is way easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the
Thanks.
way, one of the things that we really lean on AI tools a lot these days because it speeds so many things up. I showed you how that value bomb I created for Mike Mandel hypnosis I created that with Claude really quickly. We've created a lot of slides. In fact, actually, Timothy, if you want, you could pull up like the copywriting slides as an example. These are all things that we've made really quickly using Claude. And so if you have a concept, we teach this in the mastermind all the time, but just a short version for you guys is talk out loud into your microphone or something to your AI tool, train Claude Cowork on what you're doing, whatever you're using, and then ask it to help you out. And it will probably very quickly make you the assets. And then you'll have beautiful slides, super, super quick. You can export them as a PDF, and it's just easy. So do you want to just do a quick like screen share of the
Yeah,
maybe?
well, yeah, they were Keynote, but I now have them as PDF. It
Oh,
was
perfect. Yeah.
super
I
easy, and yeah,
yeah,
so
it made PowerPoint just to get you through the history here. I had Claude make me a PowerPoint deck because it likes to do PowerPoint, but then I can open up in Keynote on my Mac, which Timothy probably just did, and then export it as a PDF. So now, yeah, you can see the quality of slides we get here just
yeah,
by asking with a prompt.
here we go. And then we'll
And
share screen. And so literally I'm using preview. That's
yeah,
max, and then right there. So you can clearly see it's just PDF. And then you can just do, yeah, you
page
can do
down or
some, yeah,
whatever.
like page down. Yeah, there you go. So there's your page up, page down. So slide one, slide two, so on and so forth. Does that make sense, Soleil?
Oh,
Look
no,
at
for sure. I was just looking
yeah,
for something no fail, so
Yeah.
that's it. I would say
Yeah,
that's
this
your
is
no
it.
fail solution. Yeah.
forever traumatized. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, outside of all the failure, remember it's not failure, it's only feedback.
Mm,
And
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
want to applaud for you to do your
yeah.
first webinar. That is one, a growing pain not a lot of people push into. So congratulations. I know that was
Thank you.
probably difficult and you made through it. So now we just take those lessons, learn, and then do it again. This is
Absolutely.
this is marketing. You're optimizing. And so I guess for you, what specifically will change for you, Soleil? And how exactly will it be easier next time? And will you tell us when you come back?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, of course. All right, Misha. Hello.
Hey, Timothy, I'm going to step away for 5 minutes due to a quick
Hello.
little emergency, but
Yeah,
I
no, that's
will
fine.
leave you with Misha and I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
I got you. I got you.
Okay.
What's going on,
Hi,
bro?
Timothy.
Hello.
Uh,
I would
well, uh,
I would say long time no see, but I just saw you the other day.
yes, 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 yes. But I wasn't in a cafe for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And actually, my fight with social media continues.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I already heard about Google Ads. It's for a long time ago. I sort of set up on pause, and
Yeah.
I get my campaign for 3 days season new like Facebook Meta Ads campaign, new campaign, and I
Yep.
make new homepage actually,
Okay.
and that's what my hope now. But I don't know anything about organic. Everybody talking organic
Yep.
stuff, and how to do it and where to do it because I make CO it's included in my homepage. I made it with Lovable,
Okay.
and it's
Yeah.
make all this optimization and connecting everything and so on.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
takes time, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah, organic just means that it's natural. You're not paying for it, and
I
so
understand the
yeah.
word.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So when people are wanting to get their stuff found, like let's say SEO, right? Search engine optimization, to get
Yes.
found organically, it takes time.
Mm.
Especially with the amount of content that people are producing now. There's a bunch of people that are just every day spitting out hundreds and thousands of articles and putting them on their website, right? You have to realize that Google and all these other companies are really smart and they've already implemented their own AI in order to filter out that kind of stuff. So if you want to get found organically, the things that I would look at are, do you have a page that would, if you were to think principles, the pages that I have that I'm wanting to get found organically are what I would consider like something that everybody would want to cite it because it's so vast and it's so good. And the content of it isn't vague. The content is very specific to what you're trying to discuss. And so, for example, Craig, he was talking about like the yips. Like I'm sure if he just had an article that was like, "Do you have the yips?" Well, the yips are this, and it gives the definition. I can help you with that. It's not going to rank. Everybody knows what the yips are if you're in the golf space, right? But instead, if he said, "Well, I have the yips, and not only is this the definition, here's the psychology behind it, and here's all the reference citations, here's, articles from psychology, whatever, and here's a book that I extracted this information, and let me tell you even more." And he actually went in depth. Then
Mm, mm.
Google is going to start ranking him higher because every day Google, Bing, and all these other search companies go out and they do what's called crawling. And in order for
Mm.
your site to get indexed, meaning that once Google crawls it, it indexes and puts it on the
I
search
know.
engine. In order to do that, you have to make sure that your stuff's good. So to get it takes time though. One thing that I think that most people forget about, and so this is really important for everybody, even if you have a really good page, you still have to upload your sitemap and you have to upload the other information you have to Google's Search Console. And so at search.google.com/search-console, log in, add your domain, and then you have to upload your sitemap. You can
I
also
did.
index individual pages. If you're trying to get found on ChatGPT, you have to use Bing. Bing is actually one of the most referenced ChatGPT website search engines outside of besides Google. So you go to bing.com/webmaster and then you log in and it's just like you would with Google Search Console. You upload your sitemap and then you can also upload an AI reference. Now, the thing about that is that if you built this with Lovable, the one question I would ask Lovable is, does it have schema markup for AEO? Because every site that you want to be found on ChatGPT or Claude or anything like that has to have a what's called a script, and it's called JSON-LD baked into it. And what that is that tells the AI.
I'll type that into the chat
Yeah.
for you.
What that
Yeah.
does
Oh
is
yeah, thank you.
that
Thank
tells the AI exactly who you are, what you do, and why. Because AI can't read your website as it is, it reads the code. And the way that it reads the code is it looks for this script. And typically it's right at the very top in what's called the headers of a website.
Okay.
And so I would ask Lovable, does my website have schema markup? And is it AEO, ready? And if
Mhm.
not, just tell it to bake that in. And that's how you
Yes.
can at least start to get that what you're looking for, the organic traffic,
Yes.
specifically when it comes to ChatGPT, Claude, anything like that. Is that
Mhm.
helpful?
Yes, absolutely. And I want to ask if we have time. Can you guys look in my homepage or you don't have time?
Can you put the link in and we'll come right
I did
what we'll do is
already
oh, you did? Okay. Let's
in the
go
chat.
let's go to Drew and then come back to Mikhail's website and do because she's the last hand up right now anyway. So is that okay if we promise you that? All right, cool.
Cool. All right.
I'll pull it up in the
I
meantime.
draw.
That way we'll yeah,
Awesome.
we'll cover more ground.
Good, good, good. All right. And Drew, hello.
Okay, hi, thanks. Thanks,
Hi,
guys.
friend.
Okay, so my question is actually a two-parter.
Ooh.
So I'm thinking that my main platform will be YouTube and maybe even Instagram. And do I really need an email list or can I build enough trust with clients through YouTube alone? And then if I do that, I'm already giving away free values like the hypnosis audios on YouTube. So how could I handle paid micro offers? Like would something like Patreon make sense there?
Um, okay, I'll just start off real quick. So principle first, we need to be in control of our own destinies. We want to own a communication channel with our customers. So I would say, yes, you do want to build a list. Now, building a list, if you post on YouTube and you post hypnosis recordings, your whatever you offer in order to exchange for an email address or something like that needs to be different than an audio. Ask me how I made that mistake. I'll tell you a quick story. So we have a lead magnet that we were testing out on Facebook and Google, and it was basically a mini tutorial on hypnotic power inductions. Mike doing, a variety of things. And that tutorial performed great on Facebook and it performed like crap on YouTube. And in retrospect, I was talking to my ad agency owner about it. And I was like, well, it's a tutorial on hypnosis on YouTube, which is a place where every tutorial is just free. why the hell would they want to give me an email address for my tutorial, right? It didn't make any sense. I was like, well, of course it failed. So bottom line is, if you're giving away free hypnosis recordings on YouTube, whatever you offer for the exchange of contact information, hey, can I get your number? It's got to be something different than the things they can already get for free on YouTube. So brainstorm a little. We could do a little bit of brainstorming right now on that, but I would think about that. Think about what can you give them that they can't get on YouTube already that would allow you to get their phone number, because that starts the whole, hey, can I get your number? Now we can talk to each other. Or you can use comments in YouTube to engage in conversation with people and invite them, like, hey, no problem, that sounds great, would you like to book a call with me here or there? But somehow just structurally think, how can I go from them just being a passive audience to them now actually engaging in conversation with me? Maybe that starts with getting their number. Maybe that starts with back and forth in the comments. I'm not quite sure what the best approach would be, but does that help so far?
It does. Yes. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Yeah. So when the question, I'm going to go back to, principles first here too, Drew. And of all the people that you have watching your videos on YouTube, because you can look at the analytics, do you know for certain how many of those people are also going to your site or opting in for anything?
Well, I don't even have the site. I opened it as a draft just so when I sent it to you guys in email. So I'll be taking it
Gotcha.
off draft soon while I still work on things.
Okay,
I haven't
yeah.
even looked at the analytics,
Okay.
honestly.
Yeah, I would look at that. And I think
Okay.
it's important for everybody because the analytics are going to give you the first party data that you need to be able to make decisions. If you're not looking at data in order to make decisions, then you're guessing every single time and you have no clue. And this isn't just you, Drew. This is everybody. You have no idea if what you're about to do is working. I'll give you an example. We just launched a brand new thing. It's a directory. It's, a hypnotistnearme.com. Anybody can join. It's free. And one of the tests that we had to do was if we run paid traffic, let's say to one of the specialty pages, because there's like a bunch of different categories of specialty, like weight loss, anxiety, that kind of stuff. If we run traffic to the specialty page, how many people would actually get a link click? How many people would have their profile looked at? How many people would even scroll beyond the hero section or the very top section of the website? Well, in order for us to do that, because this is a brand new thing, that's, not very many people are running ads to it. Like there's all these questions that we had. And if we never looked at the data, we would be guessing the entire time. So instead, every day that we're running paid traffic, and we ran paid traffic for 8 days to this page, every single day I would record the metrics. How many page visits? How many profiles got clicked? Did anybody get to contact me? How much did we spend? And by looking at the analytics and the data, after 8 days, I was able to then make an empirical, as easily as I could of a decision to go, all right, I think we need to take the paid traffic down and try something else. And this isn't because and this is where people will go, well, nothing's working, marketing doesn't work, or ads don't work. Well, the problem is that if I just looked at that and didn't have the data and said, well, apparently this isn't working, that means ads don't work, I might have shut the directory down. I might have been like, this thing's done. I can't do this anymore. But the data gave me enough information to start making decisions that I think are going to be more beneficial for us. And it's going to be beneficial for everybody that's on the directory too, because that's the whole point of it, is we want you guys to get clients through the directory. So the way that we have to do that is we have to look at the data. So for you, I would launch your page, right? Because we've had so many people in the Pykthos Mastermind too who create these beautiful home pages, beautiful funnel pages, and we say, "Are you running traffic to it?" And they go, "Well, no, I haven't at all."
You
What
had a
stopped?
wicked metaphor for this on
Yeah,
last week's call on Wednesday, I think, and it was something about holes in a bucket, but not being willing to put water in it.
yeah. Like you have like this bucket, and there's a bunch of holes, but you actually don't know if it's going to leak or not because you're too afraid to put the water in. And I think a lot of us are too afraid to validate if the thing that we've been working on so hard, months and the pictures and all this stuff, does
Yeah.
anybody actually buy? And so for all of you, look at the data,
That's why
validate
we're
it.
congratulating Soleil on running the
Yeah.
webinar, even though it was a tech disaster, as she described it. It's like you got it done. You had the epic flame out on,
Yeah.
bad tech. Now that'll never happen again, or at
Yeah.
least not to that degree, right? Like, great. that, fail fast, figure it out, and then
Yeah.
measure the outcome. And
Yep.
in her case, it's like, okay, well, a bunch of family and friends came, so I was probably not expecting to sell anything anyway. I figured out the tech issue. Now I can run it again. I can drive more traffic to it. So in your case, like
Yep.
publish the thing, see what happens, and then evaluate.
Yeah. And the reason why too, Drew, that I think data is really important when you're looking at this kind of stuff is because it might actually help you make decisions on the kind of content you make. So I would
Hmm.
look at the analytics. What pages, what videos got the most views? When
Hmm.
you had your freebie and you were giving it to people, whether it's in the comments or something, what video was it that people commented the most? What
Hmm.
kind of content then did you create in that video? And how can you just kind of create more of it? Because that means if you follow the data, technically, if you create more content like that, you should get more people asking for your freebie. That means that if you do the same thing, more people will probably go to your website. Do you see how, like, downstream, those decisions matter? Having the data in front of you matters because it's going to be what helps you make money and get clients more so than, oh, I don't know what's working. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm proud of you, by the way. Great job.
Yep. Just put water in the bucket. Yeah.
Put water in the
Oh,
bucket.
like it's like press the button. All right, I've got Mikhail's website up. Do you want me to screen share it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
had it up too, and I've already done all the digging.
Oh, then go ahead. Then you screen
Oh
share it.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
And
So, Mikhail, couple of things here, right? And this is why I think it's also really important for everybody to kind of see this firsthand. Do you mind if we screen share it, Michelle? Okay,
he doesn't
cool.
mind. Okay, cool. By the way, Lovable, I was listening to a podcast. Lovable's doing something like 600 million in revenue now. So in 20 months, I think they've only existed for something like 20 months. So pretty impressive. AI tools are taking over, guys. If you're still making websites that look like they're GeoCities or a kid with a crayon,
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
building them yourself. You
It's
don't need to
fantastic,
hire a
actually.
designer. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I
Well, so
tried many different stuff, and I begin to build with Lovable for some times now, all
yeah,
my landing pages,
Yeah.
and now
One
I
of
did
many.
everything with this, and
Yeah,
with clothes.
one of many excellent tools for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, at the very top, I love that you got the different languages. Super cool. That's really
Mm.
cool. One thing up here, you see this is called a favicon. It's still the lovable favicon. I would ask
Okay.
Lovable how you change that to your actual logo
Oh,
here so you look authentic.
I can do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I know how. Yeah.
Yep. One of the resources that I use to check for schema markup for the AI findable
Yeah.
stuff is just schema.org, and then they have this validation tool. And so all you
Okay.
do is you just put the website in, and that's what I did here. I put your website. Let me get rid of this stuff
Ah,
here.
you write it to me. I already have it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. So all I did is that, right? And then
Mm.
you click run test. And then what ends up happening is it shows you what exactly is loading at the very top. And so you do
Mm.
have like something called like a FAQ page, and it noticed professional services. The problem is
Mm.
though, is I don't think it actually names you at all in here. It just says certified hypnotherapy. Oh, there, you're right there. And then it has this as your name though. And
Yes, it's my
okay,
company
okay.
registered.
Good, good, good. So yeah, you have the basics for the professional,
Yes.
and then also you have your FAQ, which is like your questions and stuff, which is
Mhm.
great. Outside of that, though, there's some stuff that I would definitely add in. Besides the professional service, if you have an About You page, I would add that in and I would have an FAQ about who you are, certifications, that kind of stuff, like how long you've been in training, what people can traditionally expect when it comes to your paid services.
Okay.
Is it, single session? Is it, multi-session? I would add that stuff in, and you can easily just ask Lovable to include that in the FAQ, and then at least it'll be findable. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome.
To be found by ChatGPT and stuff like that, we learned this from our good friend Qasim Aslam. He runs a company that actually digs into. He ran the world's best Google Ads agency, sold it for over $10 million, I think. And anyway, now he's focused very much on AEO. He coined the term AEO, which is kind of cool. And one of the key lessons I remember, Timothy, is the AI tools, they care about people, not companies so much. So
Yeah.
me, Chris Thompson, co-founder of Mike Mandel Hypnosis, co-founder of Pykthos, Timothy September, creator of Enter the Loop. So if you try to rank in LLM land, AI land for like your company name and stuff, it's just not going to be as important as you. So you want the AI
Yeah.
to know who you are, what you do, what your expertise is, your history.
Mm.
So one thing you can all do is just go to ChatGPT or something. Now it may know you. So I did this myself last night. I was like, hey, Chat, pretend you don't know, pretend you and I don't already have a relationship here, and tell me if somebody asked who is Chris Thompson, what would you likely say? Like somebody else, somebody who doesn't have somebody who doesn't have the knowledge of, our years of interaction together. And it goes, oh, interesting question. Well, I would say this and this and this. And it said a bunch of interesting stuff. Now, if I was trying to build a brand around myself, then which I'm not currently trying to do, I found a whole bunch of glaring holes, like social presence is weak and all this other stuff. So I'm sort of, according to ChatGPT, I'm like the behind the scenes guy who runs Mike Mandel Hypnosis. That's what it sees me as. So that would be a thing to fix. So yeah, punch in,
Yeah.
Hey, who is, and give it your name and see what it says.
Hmm.
And then say, hey, if I wanted to be recommended more by people in my country, in my area, what would I need to do? And it'll give you a bunch of recommendations. Did you want to look at the website too at all, Timothy? And like any thoughts on the screen share on the actual website itself?
Oh yeah, yeah, we can do
Because I
that.
noticed, like, while you're pulling it up, your headline is hypnotherapy in Alkin. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
It's my town.
Yeah, I figured it was your geography because that's great that you branded after your town. So it's Alkin Hypnosis. Um, that can work if there's enough people looking for it. As a website, that's, I suppose, it's your digital banner. If it's a one-page website, it just doesn't speak to a niche though. So one thing is, I don't know who
Hmm.
this is for.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
main. Remember the 6-second test is like, who is this for? Um,
Yeah.
what does it offer? And what am I supposed to do? Now, I can see that there's a webinar as the very first button, and I do like the idea of featuring the webinar. If you're getting enough traffic to the site, then that can be logical. Although my argument would be it's almost a month, well, not a month. It's in 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
that's a good, actually, I'll take that back. I was about to say don't put it there yet, but if since the webinar's in 2 weeks, if it was any further out, I would say don't put that banner there yet. So
Yeah.
just a small point. Don't distract
Yeah.
your audience for something that's like a month away, but that's fine. It's 2 weeks away. When it comes to the what am I supposed to do, I guess the book of discovery call is a little bit below the fold in terms of the screen share that Timothy's showing right now. So I don't know who this is for. I don't know what I'm going to get out of it, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Now, I know that's solved if we scroll down a little bit and we'll see book a discovery call, but I'm not going to book a discovery call if I don't know who it's for. So you're kind of speaking to everyone here by saying hypnotherapy, create change. Oh, you know what, Timothy, this is a great time to talk very briefly about the idea of one of the things that came up on our mastermind call recently, which was the
Mm.
idea of you guys all know what I mean by an intangible, right? So if somebody, they want to feel confidence, that's an intangible. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with things that are inherently intangible because, well, not everything is tangible. I mean, if I say I want a new phone, that's tangible. Okay, I understand that. Intangibles, the emotions that people want, the feelings that people want, whatever. What you can't do is give things to people that as an intangible that don't have like validation. What is the evidence criteria? What is the how do I know when I have it? And we have some examples of that we could probably pull up and share, but make sure that whenever you're putting copy out there on a website like hypnotherapy in Alkin is, I'd probably leave, if you already say welcome to Alkin Hypnosis, you don't really need to
Okay.
repeat
Good
that.
idea. Good
The
point.
that's called an eyebrow, I believe, right? The
Mhm.
welcome to Alkin Hypnosis, the right above your
Yes.
headline. I think that's called an eyebrow in design. I only learned that like a month ago. Um, yeah. So I would replace that headline with something that speaks to your ideal audience and promises them, like promises is a hard word, but speak to the verifiable thing that they will get after working with you. So,
Hmm.
um, an example. Let's just use the example of the lawn service, right, Timothy? The you don't want to cut your lawn anymore because it's a pain in the ass to go pull out the lawnmower, fill it up with gas, and every Saturday you waste half your day, mowing your lawn or whatever.
Yeah.
And so why do you hire a lawn company? To get your Saturdays back. That's a line that we got from Ryan Dice at Digital
Yep.
Marketer years ago. I love that line. But so it's not necessarily going to go into the headline. Okay. So don't marry yourself to the idea that it has to be in the headline. It probably doesn't even fit in the headline, to be honest. But it's the evidence criteria. How does someone have a verification that they got their Saturday back? Because now your lawnmower is in, you don't even have a lawnmower anymore. You've gotten rid of it. You've given it to a neighbor in need because you've got that lawn care company that comes every Saturday and they take care of your lawn. And instead, you sit in your hammock and read that book that you've been dying to finish.
Yeah.
Like that's how right? That's
Yeah.
how we do. Anyway,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. And that's because ultimately, again, nobody cares about you. They only care about themselves. That is like the absolute true fact when it comes to any type of
Yes.
copy, any type of marketing, right? So think of it this way, as Chris was saying. You have to stop selling your service, saying, I sell hypnotherapy, I do hypnotherapy. You have to sell who they become. That's where the transformation comes in. Because most practitioners, and this was even you, Misha, right? Is you're selling a 60-minute hypnotherapy session or Ericksonian hypnosis, or maybe you're selling calm, balance, and inner peace. But these are none of the things the customer's actually buying. Like going back to the lawn care, if somebody showed up to mow my lawn and they were like, so I have this lawn care thing, and if I cut your grass, you'll start to feel a sense of peace and reflection, and there'll be balance in your life. And I'm going to close the door.
Yeah.
No, nobody talks like that in real life.
Like we use only Toro engines that are filled with premium gasoline, and the blades are a particular type of carbon. I don't care, right?
I don't care.
Your
right?
client doesn't care what kind of
Yeah.
hypnosis you do. They care about the result. Yeah.
Right. And so I even noticed on your website, Misha, that you had things like, you help people with anxiety and all these things, right? But like, what are they actually getting? They're not getting the cure for anxiety. Maybe it's the version of them that sleeps through the night, or that they're able to walk past a vape shop without even a second thought, or they can get on the plane without needing a drink or two, right?
And by the way, I think that example is not meant to be for an alcoholic or something. It's meant to be, I'm afraid of flying, right? And so I take a drink to calm my nerves. It's like, hey, when you overcome that fear of flying, you'll get on that plane without needing a drink to calm yourself down.
Yeah. And so this is why I think too, to Chris's point, that people, when we talk about selling a niche or being in a niche, it's because you can sell the transformation of the individual going through that after state. If you sell weight loss and pain management and anxiety, imagine trying to tell somebody that's only there for like pain management how they're going to feel once they've lost all the weight. It won't match with them. It won't resonate. And so we're trying to sell the story, right? And that's because nobody buys a nominalization. Now, for any of you guys not in the hypnosis or, even in the Mike Mindell Hypnosis Academy space or an Enter the Loop or anything like that, this is something that we teach. And I learned this from Mike and Chris at Mike Mindell Hypnosis. And it's the idea that nominalizations are nouns that you don't physically have, they're not tangible. So I can put, as long as it's a big enough wheelbarrow, I could put a brick, a car, a spaceship, an apple, a house, right? Like I can fit this thing. The wheelbarrow itself is the tangible, but I can't put love or strength or wisdom in a wheelbarrow, but we can all have it. Right. So in this example, calm, peace, clarity, confidence, like nobody's buying that. Nobody types into Google, like, where can I buy extra confidence? Right. Ultimately, if you looked at that, you'd probably end up finding like articles on how you can have an alcoholic drink, or there's this supplement, or there's a prescription drug. When people look at these things, like how do I get more calm in my life? The after state's typically the product, but how do you get them there, right? The lawnmower guy doesn't sell freedom in your schedule. He says, I mow your lawn so you get your Saturdays back. You have to sell the story. So instead of
Freedom is
writing,
a nominalization. And
yeah,
to your point, Timothy, you can't put freedom in a wheelbarrow, but you also can't see freedom. You can't witness freedom. And
yeah,
if you saw an expression on somebody's face, you would be mind reading if you said, "Oh, he looks like he has freedom," right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
so what can you actually observe? You can say, "Oh, you know what? I see that this guy's always coming back from vacations in different spots. Oh, he must have freedom," right?
yeah,
The witnessing, the thing you're witnessing. So if there's one thing we can leave you guys with here, it's point out what the person will be able to validate, what they'll be able to witness after they
yes,
get the change, rather
yeah,
than just saying, "Oh, I'm gonna give you freedom. I'm gonna help you with confidence," that kind of thing.
yeah,
And
exactly.
to your point, Timothy, about like nominalizations. Okay, think about this. If you have a website now, Mikhail, you're the guinea pig here, I guess, because your website was the one being shared.
It's
This is
fine.
hypnosis. Um, if if you don't have a niche that you can speak to, if you don't have an ideal target, you can't talk about those things that we're just mentioning. You're
Right.
forced to speak content free. And most of us here are probably skilled in Ericksonian hypnotic language where you can do content free therapy, but you never want to do content free sales. It doesn't work. Can you
It
imagine
doesn't work.
that? It's like, and it's a simple thing to sit here and imagine the kind of transformation that you can achieve once you put your mind to overcoming all of those obstacles that you've been like bleh, it doesn't do a good job of capturing the message
Right.
of what you do, right?
Yeah. And so
That's for the therapy room, not for the
Y-
sales pitch.
That's right. And in the case of copywriting, you just this is where VAK comes in. Can they smell it? Can they see it? Can they taste it? Can they, hear it, right? So getting your Saturdays back. Somebody can imagine them sitting in a chair with the newspaper or a magazine out and they get the fresh cuts, cut lawn smell and they didn't have to do a darn thing. I can easily visualize that, right? That's super easy. So
Hmm.
that should be your copy. Now we have a great example here. This is Dana Cole. Chris, did you want to walk us through Dana Cole here?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Because okay. Yeah. This was a presentation that we gave in our mastermind. So we're going to give you guys a miniature version of this. So Dana Cole, this is her before copy. So she's a fake hypnotherapist just for the purposes of illustration. And her niche is overwhelmed professionals who lie awake at 2 a.m. with a racing brain and they don't want to rely on pills. Now, I'm reading this because this is going in an audio version of the podcast as well. So, what most practitioners would write would be something like, "Hi, I'm Dana. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist with 200 plus hours of training in Ericksonian hypnosis, NLP, and mindfulness. See all about me. I offer relaxation and stress reduction sessions to help you achieve calm, balance, and inner peace. Book your session today." Or it could be book your discovery call, right? So, who's it about? Everybody, it's about Dana,
Dana.
right? Nobody cares about Dana. They only care about themselves. What's she selling? A session, a method, and there's a bunch of nominalizations in there. So who sees themselves in that? Well, probably nobody. I mean, I suppose there's
Nobody.
nobody. It doesn't even say anything about lying awake at 2 a.m. That's the niche, but it doesn't even say that. So let's
Yeah.
go to the next slide.
Yeah, yeah. And so this is where I think you can learn some principles here.
Hmm. Okay, so we're going to start to rewrite it principle by principle. And the first principle is have a hook, right? Now, again, a hook can start in your headline. There's a bunch of ways that you can deploy this on your website. So I just want to make sure we're focusing on the principles. Then you can maybe feed the transcript of this once it's up on YouTube to an AI tool and say, or even Lovable, I don't know, and say, "Hey, can you help me rewrite the copy on this page based on this is my niche? And now, like, let's fix the website." Okay, so example hook. It's 2:14 a.m. You've done the math on how many hours you can still get if you fall asleep right now again. And that again, I think it hits.
Yeah.
How many of you guys, just by show of hands here, have been lying in bed at night and knowing you have to wake up at a certain time and been like, "Shit, I'm not
Yeah.
asleep. Ugh, if it happens right now,
Yeah.
I can get 4 hours. We've all done it, right? So
Yeah.
that
And
hits.
right there, that was a perfect example. So many of you raised your hand.
Mhm.
It resonated with you. Dana's
Right.
doesn't even exist. And this one sentence resonated with you.
Then you got, okay, so then we're going to move on to the problem and then remove the blame is a typical format, right? So you're not a bad sleeper. You're a professional with a brain trained to solve problems on demand. And nobody taught it how to clock out, right? Basically, no one taught you how to shut your brain down. And they go, yeah, I am a professional. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It resonates. Like, yeah, I guess that does kind of make sense
Yeah.
that I'm a problem solver. So my brain's racing at night. I need to learn how to hit the off switch.
Yeah.
You've tried the melatonin. Yeah, and the next
I was
step
going to say,
was,
like these
oh,
two sentences right here, Chris, are
yeah.
exactly what Laurel Portier talks about. This is your dog whistle. These
Yeah,
two right
exactly.
here.
That's why, you know what? Most people who teach this stuff will, if they're honest, say, I didn't make it up. I mean, I learned this from someone else. Laurel Portier learned this from someone else. Ryan Dice learned it from someone else. Nobody, I mean, somebody made it up at some point, but it goes way freaking back. Same thing with hypnosis, right? There's no real secrets. It's like principles. Okay, so then you get into the old way and the false solutions, which is you've tried the melatonin, the meditation app you stopped opening, the wine that gets you to sleep but then wakes you up at 3 a.m. They manage a symptom. None of them turn the switch off. Like, how many of us can say, yeah, I'll have a couple glasses of wine to fall asleep when I know, and then I'm up 3 a.m. peeing, and it's metabolized. My brain's now racing. It's horrible, right?
Don't go
So
admitting too much, Chris.
yeah, this is all like it's totally true. I mean, I know for sure every time we got social things going on and you have some wine before bed, you're up at 3 a.m. At least in my 50s, I am. Okay, so the new way, name it. So now the mechanism, the bridge, you're bridging to your offer. There's a different way, and it's called, now you're going to give it a name, the lights out method, a simple, repeatable way to teach your own mind to power down on command. Sort of speaks to self-hypnosis. You've given it a name, right? It sounds like it's unique because of that. Think of things like PX90, PX90,
Yeah,
is that what it's
yeah,
called?
yeah, not P90X.
P90X, thank you, or P90X, or all these things is like it has a name. It sounds like it must be unique, right? Craig, you could be thinking about the method that you help people with in golf or mindset or whatever. Give it a name here, and then the bridge. Imagine. So now you're selling the actual verifiable after state, right? Not the freaking feeling, right? Imagine your head hitting the pillow and going quiet, waking before the alarm, walking into your 9 a.m. clear, not foggy and over caffeinated. That's the result. That's the verifiable thing that people want. Now, notice this doesn't rely. This is something I didn't know if we were going to bring up, but it naturally fits here, Timothy, I think. This doesn't rely on being dickish and slimy and salesy.
Yeah.
It's actually selling the positive. It's not hammering on the negative.
Yep.
You have insomnia, and if you don't fix that insomnia, imagine how crappy your life's going to be 2 years from now when you're sleep deprived and then you get fired from your job and divorced and you're filing for bankruptcy and like, no, you don't have to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's something a lot of people, when you're looking at just copywriting basics, people learn this real simple pattern called PAS. It's pain, agitate, solution. How many of you guys have ever heard anything like that? Yeah. And often people really lean into the pain. They lean and they agitate it, like to Chris's point. And I think
Knife wounds, just
yeah, it's just like it hurts. That sucks. There's actually on a psychological level, there's actually an emotion that sells so much better, and it's one that Laurel Portier talks about, and it's called relief. That closes the loop, and if you listen to the copy that Chris read, the relief was imagine that you don't have to do this anymore, and it also is part of the dog whistle. It's not you. It's these things you've been trying. So now you're taking the pain away from them by saying it has nothing to do with them. So P90X, great example. They would usually say something like, it's now the summertime and you're on the beach and you see all of these people that have the body that you wish you could. Now, the PAS part of that, they would agitate the pain by going, you just suck at diets, but they don't do that. Instead, they would flip it and they would say, it's not you. What if instead it's because of the way that you've been working out and it's the methods that you've been using to diet? Those don't work, but instead we have something called muscle confusion. And once you learn muscle confusion, you're naturally going to drop the weight. And next year, you can look at yourself in the mirror and feel proud that you achieved it because it wasn't your fault. It was just the method you were taught.
Mm.
That's as simple as possible. And so
Yeah.
for Craig, like for you and the yips, I would give your whatever yips, protocol you have a super cool name and then lean into telling golfers it's not that they have the yips. It's this other thing that they've been unaware of and that your
Mm.
method is the solution that can help them.
Yeah,
That-
you've been trying to force a conscious, intervention on something that's driven by whatever, that kind of thing.
yeah.
Hopefully that all makes sense.
Yeah, I was trying to push just I use the idea of flow state
Yeah.
and how flow state and hypnosis are very similar.
Yeah, you've got a ton of potential there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what you do in the next few weeks and come
Yeah,
back.
dude.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right, Mikhail, was that useful in terms of just breaking down the website stuff? And I think you need to. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm still a little bit confused, but
All right.
it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I see what you mean. And I had actually, for a long time, drive this smoking cessation as a niche for people who is intelligent, successful, but still have this habit.
Yeah.
And it's also in a homepage, but homepages I take a little bit broader. That's why maybe it's also other thing, but still you can see down there ideal client. But in a first hero site, I absolutely agree. It should be maybe more clear about them, not about me. That's what I need to look at, as I understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could do a website homepage that still talks directly to smoking cessation, but ties in the idea that, something like Alkin's #1 smoking cessation hypnotherapist, if you wanted that as a tagline or something like that. Because I don't know how big of a town it is, but there's probably not that
Very,
big.
very little.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, there you go. But and surrounding areas. But if you speak to the smoker who wants smart, intelligent, just hasn't been able to quit yet, you can do that on your website while still having copy that speaks to the idea that, you also work on a variety of other issues, usually via referral, which speaks to, oh, people refer to you? Oh, well, you must be really good, right? Something like that. So
Okay,
consider that.
I will look at it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you
Now
so much.
we're
Thank you very
just
much.
no problem. We're just a little bit past the top of the hour. Should we shutter down here and move into phase 2?
Yeah, I think so. So
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for being here. If you would like and you're listening to this and want to join us live where we'll answer your questions and help you get the answers that you're looking for, join us at pykthos.com, pykthos.com/cafe to register, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.